Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. This video mainly addresses two segments or two groups in my audience. The first one, the older or elder generation from the Eastern and Central Europe, the ones who lived under the communist system. And the other segment of my audience is people who lived outside of it and who live right now in the free world. I want to warn the second group of the realities of the first group, that they lived under the communist system, that now transferred into their so-called free world. What am I talking about? In the Eastern Bloc, which were Soviet Union, Poland, Czechoslovakia, Hungary, Romania, Bulgaria, and to a lesser extent Yugoslavia, which was an unaligned country, censorship was very much a reality. And we were told that certain media outlets, Western media outlets, pour propaganda in our beautiful lives in the communist bloc. And those two main media outlets were Voice of America and Radio Free Europe. Vocea Americii in Romanian and Europa Libera. You couldn't listen to them, and these guys were trying to distort the sound, the wavelength these were sent. They were transmitting from the West. And we were told that that is propaganda from the West, from the capitalist pigs. Therefore, we should not listen to it. Our government, the communists, were protecting us. And they were banned. I will explain in this video who funded those two outlets. And now we have Westerners, the free world, the European Union, banning media that they call propaganda to shelter the free world. The roles are reversed. For us, the older generation, who knew that if the Securitatea, the secret police, would hear about us listening to the radio, to Vocea Americii, Voice of America, or to the Radio Free Europe, we could be arrested and in big trouble. That's how it was. Right now, I will show you roles were reversed. Russia Today. Men arrested in the European Union state for providing Russian TV access. Latvia has barred media outlets linked to Moscow from reaching audiences since the Ukraine conflict escalated in 2022, citing alleged propaganda. Now, Latvia was part of the Soviet Union, so they know better how the censorship was then. Nevertheless, it seems like, as I said, the European Union is a tyrannical entity. Latvian police have arrested a man accused of providing access to banned Russian television channels to more than 400 households across the country, according to local media outlets. Reports, the 42-year-old technician is reportedly suspected of setting up a system that bypassed content protection, censorship technologies, allowing viewers to watch banned Russian channels that supposedly spread propaganda. My friends from Eastern Europe, my older friends that are over 50, let's say, and who lived in Europe, in Eastern Europe, or live in the West right now, you understand exactly what's going on over here. What the communists did to us then, the free world does to the free people today, using the same reasoning, or lack of. We protect you from being propagandized by who we designate are the bad people. The communists designated the capitalists as the bad people. These guys, now they designate the Russians as the bad people. Tomorrow, if Russia collapses, they're going to designate someone else as the bad people. Now, we were listening to the Voice of America and the Radio Free Europe. I remember when I was a child, a teenager, when people were listening to this kind of programs. Some people under the blankets with the radio very low in closed doors and curtains shut, and if you enter, everybody you are not allowed. Because if you would say, hey, my parents listen or my grandparents listen to this, and someone would say to someone else, a knock at your door you would get, and not good. So you were arrested then, as these guys right here arrest this 42-year-old guy in Latvia. Latvia is in the European Union, NATO country, free world. Remember? Now, let me talk about the Radio Free Europe and the Voice of America. When we were in the Eastern Bloc, in the so-called communist countries, which were socialist countries with one party, a communist party. That's it. Every other party was banned. We're not in the communism. We were in like Canada, socialism, or France. These are countries way ahead of the curve, way ahead of everybody else in reaching the communism. In any form, in censorship, in their economies, in their societies, they destroy themselves. We, the people who lived under these tyrannical systems, we smell it immediately. When we see little signs remind us. You can say that maybe we have PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, or maybe we are just over-traumatized by that. But we have something. Not all of us. People like me and older, living in the West, they don't smell this. But those are very, very low IQ. I tell you that. That is not even, because I know people with very high IQ actually, who don't understand a lot of things that are right in front of their face. Like, America is good. Russia is bad. Okay, Israel is perfect. When you hear these kind of things, you're done with the conversation. You have to slowly retreat. Okay, you cannot talk. You talk about the weather, maybe you talk about, I don't know, the game, the beer, women maybe, and that's it. No politics, nothing like that. So let's go to the point of Voice of America and the Radio Free Europe. We then did not know, at least I didn't know, who funded these two free Westerner capitalist media, who give us the baboons in Romania, in my case, the knowledge, the truth. No, they were propaganda outlets funded by the US government. Got it? To break that country. Yeah. They were giving us their alternative news with propaganda so we can go and overthrow our government. That was the whole point. That was it. We're going to give you this. Some of those things were true. But they had the flavor of you got to go and do it. It was bad then, but there were some good things too in the socialism. There were some good paid dental. Everybody had a job. You deserved or not. Everything, school was free. Textbooks were free, for instance. Medical was free. I think a civilized society. But it was meritocracy in college, in high school. Not like these guys. These guys are way ahead of us with the communism. You got a pencil? Go to school, you're going to graduate. If you show up in class, doesn't matter how imbecile you are, you're going to graduate. Now, these guys are way ahead of what the communists ever dreamed. They had more meritocracy then than some of these guys have here in certain domains, like school, for instance. Now, we thought that these guys are giving us the information, some of us. For me, personally, I was a teenager. After the revolution in Romania, I learned that Voice of America and the other one were financed by CIA, the State Department, and here is the evidence. Let's start with these guys. Voice of America. The Voice of America is an international broadcasting network funded by the federal government of the United States. Right? And it says that by law has editorial independence, you got it, from the government. So no. It is the largest and oldest of American international broadcasters producing digital TV, radio, babi, boo, boo, baba. Established 1942 during the World War II. Now, don't get fooled by that by law has editorial independence. A lot of things are done by law or not by law. So, all right? CIA, State Department, funding this one. Let's go to the next one. Radio Free Europe. Radio Free Europe, it's a little bit more tricky. Radio Free Europe is a media organization broadcasting news and analysis. You know what analysis is? It's propaganda. I analyze something the way I want to analyze it, and you listen to it. In 27 languages and 23 countries. Okay, all right. And it was established what? It became in 49. Targeting Soviet satellite states. Who funded Radio Free Europe? Radio Free Europe is funded by Congress. Congress gets your money, your tax money, and give it to the particular agencies infiltrated by agents or former agents. Like people right now, you can take Free Europe, Radio Free Europe, or Voice of America, and you look at CNN, MSNBC. They're infiltrated. Operation Mockingbird. It started what, 1970s? Kiss goodbye free media in America. That's why I called the media in America the operatives. They're operators. They're not for us. They're operators for them. And it says here, let me read further, with the mission, it has a mission to promote the free flow of news. How about these guys? Remember these guys? Free flow of news, huh? And democracy globally. Radio Free Europe and Radio Liberty were initially created to deliver news across the Iron Curtain during the Cold War. And we have this. Rolling Stone. I would like you maybe to read this one by Mr. Bernstein, Carl Bernstein. I can only feel it that he is, but doesn't matter. After leaving the Washington Post in 1977, Carl Bernstein go and read his bio as well. Very interesting. Spent 6 months looking at the relationship of the CIA and the press during the Cold War years. His 25,000 words cover story published in Rolling Stone in October 1977 is reprinted below. In 77, see if you're going to find out this one today. Talking about the relationship, the CIA and the media, how America's most powerful news media worked hand in glove with a Central Intelligence Agency, and why the Church Committee covered it up. Got it? Go and figure it out, my friends. So, European Union, tyrannical? Are you afraid of those guys' propaganda? So that means they're better at it than you are? Like Radio Free Europe and the Voice of America were better than the communists at it. So what's going on here, my friends? Just think about it. I don't want to be, as an adult, I don't want to be censored to anything if I want to access. Now, if that's illegal, children and so on, I understand that one. But if I want to learn what a liar has to say, let's say a person who was already tagged as a liar, like, I don't know, CNN, I should be allowed to watch CNN, even if, it's labeled as a lying company. Propaganda, I should be allowed, should not be banned. And the same, if I decide to buy a Chevrolet, instead of, a Bentley, let's say, I should be allowed to buy a Chevrolet. And I go over there and I'm going to meet another person, a salesperson, who's going to try to scheme me, fool me, get my money as much as he can for a product that doesn't value that much. So he's going to try to demonstratively scheme me, fool me. Is that illegal? What do they say? Well, do your homework and then you go and buy. So when you meet a salesman or a saleswoman, man in general, he's going to try to get as much money. If you say, I'm going to give you my house, man, and my 50 properties, I'm going to give you $30 million, I agree to give you for a Chevrolet Cavalier. Let's say tag price $25,000. I'm going to give you $1 million. He's not going to say, whoa. No. And I don't think the government will come in and say, whoa. It's a voluntary exchange of funds. If I am an idiot enough to pay for your garbage car that amount of money, I'm a free person, you're a free person, I didn't do my job. The same with news, with information, with knowledge. If I fall for CNN, for Cuomo, and for the other baboon, Don Lemon, and for Stelter, and all these liars, and now they have their own shit. Okay? Or if you want, O'Reilly or something like this, or Stewart, if I want to fall for them, it's on me. That's why you have to read, you have to pay attention, and that's it. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Now, we live in a free world, you think? It's never been a free world. Limited freedom? Not even. Since when an adult can limit another adult's ability to inform or to baboon himself? When I go to a movie, nobody tells me it's a garbage movie. Can I ask for my money back? No. Your choice. That's life. The actions have consequences. The same with news, but these guys protect us. Like mommy, daddy, or... Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.